Are you serious? Are you serious? Eric Holder, the Attorney General of the United States of America, just simply can't make a one-pager that says, America, the Obama administration will not kill you in this country with a drone without first giving you due process, without first at least arresting you and reading you Miranda rights and giving you the right to an attorney. That's all we want, Eric Holder. That's all anybody wants. Just tell us that you won't treat the U.S. citizens as terrorists. And after 13 hours of filibustering by Rand Paul, we're still waiting. Matter of fact, let me play for you 1 minute of Rand Paul as he first stood on the floor. Now, I listened to his last hour last night until he finished. And I even played 20 minutes of his filibustering on my live show yesterday about, as he had been up by then, he had been up for almost 5 hours. Folks, it's about time. And finally, congressmen came into the chamber. Senators started coming into the chamber. And even some of the Democrats were finally saying, look, he is right. This is the Fifth Amendment, the right to due process. Here's the words of Rand Paul.
Kentucky.
I rise today to begin to filibuster John Brennan's nomination for the CIA. I will speak until I can no longer speak. I will speak as long as it takes until the alarm is sounded from coast to coast that our Constitution is important, that your rights to trial by jury are precious, that no American could be killed by a drone on American soil without first being charged with a crime, without first being found to be guilty by a court, that Americans could be killed in a cafe in San Francisco or in a restaurant in Houston or at their home in Bowling Green, Kentucky, is an abomination. It is something that should not and cannot be tolerated in our country.
That is Rand Paul calling the United States Obama administration thinking they have the power to use drones to just kill citizens if they feel they're a threat to national security. Now listen, and he even used the word, this is an abomination. Did I hear that right? Let me just go back and make sure I heard that. Did he say abomination?
In a restaurant in Houston or at their home in Bowling Green, Kentucky, is an abomination.
So he's using that word, and that's just something to just keep that in mind when you're looking in, when you look into the Bible. When you look right into the Bible. Here's the thing that I want you to understand, that even Jesus used that word, the abomination of desolation, but pertains to a different subject than what Rand Paul's talking about. But that's the level that Rand Paul is putting the current administration's perception of how to use this new drone technology. Now look, everybody can agree, using drones in combat, in a battlefield situation, to blow up the enemy with a drone is a tremendous advantage for the United States of America against the enemies of freedom. But you don't take that same technology and use it on the citizens of the United States. Because USA, this is not a battlefield. This is the United States of America where the civilian public live. Now, as Rand Paul said, from Kentucky, the senator from Kentucky, Rand Paul, as he said, he's not even against letting them use drones for surveillance. I mean, that's not the end of the world. I still feel like it's becoming an invasion of privacy, but we'll set that aside for a minute. And if you do find someone who's sitting at a cafe in San Francisco or in some little diner in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and is sitting there with a tablet writing plans to do some type of terrorist explosive attack, you don't zap him But you send the law enforcement in and you arrest him and you apprehend him and you charge him and you read him his Miranda rights. You don't indefinitely detain him. And that's already an executive order. I got a feeling, I got a really weird pit in my stomach that President Obama is just going to, not today, but in a few days, maybe within a month, just do an executive order that basically gives him this right. I don't see Eric Holder coming out with a one-pager that says to Rand Paul and everyone else, you're right. Let us be totally clear. We have no intentions of using this against citizens without giving them due process. That's real simple. I'm just a preacher from the cornfields of Indiana, and I could draft this that would make it legally binding. Even with Paul Begley vocabulary, I could do it. So why can't the brightest minds, and I take that back, why can't the minds of Washington, I don't think it's the brightest minds anymore. I think that's history. I think the brightest minds of America are are riding combines and tractors in the cornfields of Kansas, Nebraska, and Indiana. I think the brightest minds in America are working on the assembly lines in Detroit and in Birmingham, Alabama. I think the brightest minds in America are standing behind this kitchen sink with 3 children getting ready for school and the washing machine running. I actually think that the brightest minds in America are the nurses and the doctors and the aides who are tirelessly working to help nurse back into health the very people, the citizens of America, the very citizens that the president wants to have the ability to zap if he feels necessary. See, I'm starting to think, just where is the best and the brightest minds of this nation? And I will say this, where's the moral standard of this country? Well, I think it still sits in the pews of churches of every denomination across the nation under the gospel of Jesus Christ. I think there's still core values within many of God's fearing children who pray before breakfast and pray their prayers at night before they go to bed and kiss their grandchildren on the top of the head and in the cheek as they tuck them away, as the grandparents' parents are out working double shifts to try to pay for the higher taxes and the lack of income that they're able to provide. No, you see, I think the best and the brightest minds of America is the heart and the soul of America. And we still need the Bible, Mr. President. Now, whether you believe it or not, this country was founded on the principles of this great holy book that I've wore out and spent a lifetime preaching and leading souls to Christ. So thank God somebody sent me a new one. Kenny and Penny did. You see, I still have sold my soul out to the Savior of the world, and I still believe in America. And when those 34 pilgrims in 1620 signed the Mayflower Compact, a covenant with God, that God would bless this land, they dedicated this land to this nation to God. One of the ancestors of one of the 34 original signatures called my show yesterday. She called just to say, we're still out here. We still got good values. And we can tell you, Mr. President, killing our fellow neighbors and citizens of this country without giving them a due process is outright unconstitutional. It's outright immoral, and it shouldn't take a senator from Kentucky to stand 13 hours without a bathroom break to beg the United States Senate to understand this what? 13 hours? What? Are you serious? This needs to go viral. This video needs to go viral. Somebody send it to Washington. Send it to CNN. Send it to MSNBC.